Hi all, hope that's me on. Just gonna wait for a wee moment here just for people to join in, and I'll just share a little bit of my day so far and how I've been doing. I am just off a Zoom call. I'm part of an outstanding network, a group on Facebook, and it is just phenomenal. It's so inspirational, and at 11 o'clock people will listen to two speakers, and we get to hear their story and their background, their inspiration, their hopes and dreams for the future. And these are all business minded people, but they've sort of funneled their passion and their experience from their life and their life experience through to their business. And obviously it's really well, what can we say about the times at the minute? There is an element of uncertainty. People could be feeling very victimized, scarcity, etc. So this is all about building people up, and sort of that's what I've been doing with my time. That's where I'm putting my focus. I'm not watching the news. I am just getting on with what I have to do. I'm also a key worker, so there is a certain day or days that I do have to work, so I do that also. And also aside from that, it's more about me just working on myself, what I want for my future, surrounding myself with like-minded people, people who want to build each other up and share. And there was a beautiful element. The lady today talking was a beautiful storyteller, and just even listening to her was absolutely riveting, and all of her ups and downs and highs and lows. So that is something that I very much want to do and be part of. So what I'm saying is, if there's elements of your life that are feeling broken down, try and rebuild and surround yourself with uplifting people, positive people. Do not bow to the fear mongering. I actually did myself and caught myself on. So if you can do that just to keep yourself level-headed, built up, then that's all you want to do, really, in essence, because that's what keeps you strong. That's what keeps your immune system strong. Now, today I asked the wonderful Mandy Reid. I've asked her because I've been through a process with her called PSYCH-K. Now, we will be able to share both perspectives, as I need to make sure I get my wording right, because it's not like a client. Let me see. So there's a facilitator and a partner. Facilitator and a partner, and that's beautiful because that shows a bit of a level playing field. I'm just going to check now and see if I can see Mandy. You just... Oh, sorry. I had to just nip off there. I want to see if Mandy was one of the people that I could connect to. So at the minute I can see the wonderful Kathy tuning in. Good morning to you, or afternoon should I say. Yes, I was on a call for a long time. Just a lovely hello to Thomas, my good friend Thomas, my cheerleader. Also, it's all good about surrounding yourself with powerful people and people who want to build each other up. So that's beautiful. Good afternoon, should I say, to you, Thomas. I have Giuseppe. I hope I'm saying that right. Giuseppe. Yes. I can see that there is some viewers there, but that the Facebook Live sharing aspect is, I've never done it before, as in shared somebody coming on the screen. So it's given me wee options for certain people, but I'm just going to look out for Mandy, because this is a whole new different thing. Let me just pop it on here. Mandy, can you pop on? There we are. So just looking for my lovely friend Mandy. And myself and Mandy and Kathy recently did a workshop called the Swan Protocol. So it was amazing. It was metaphysical. I can see the lovely Kira Bennett has joined us. So I'm still looking for Mandy, but that's all good. So I recently qualified in the Swan Protocol, and oh, my friend Kira Bennett too. So that was really, really interesting. That, see, there's an element of this type of healing that is metaphysical, And with the SWAN protocol also, there is an element of the metaphysical that is there. So it's fab. So that's another sort of tool in the toolbox, that, and all of these things have been adapted and made workable online, because it seems to be, as a global community, where we all are at the moment. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a wee, I'm going to share about my experiences first, okay, with the PSYCH-K, and then I'm going to invite Mandy in, if I can see her and find her here. There's my lovely friend Olga, also joining me. Good to see you on, Olga. This is a wee bit different for me because I'm having to interact. I suppose, I hope it hasn't ever came across rude that I don't, but I can just get super focused and get in the flow, and then I just sort of look to the side and go, and hope it doesn't cross a bit aloof, because that is not my intention. Because I'm so happy to see everybody on here and joining me today, because what is going to be shared is a real benefit, you know. Even I think Mandy's going to share some tips at the end, because she is a mental health professional. She is going to be sharing so many things at the end about what we have, what's in our power, and what we can sort of do to take care of ourselves in these times. And there I am, seeing the beautiful Mandy Reid up in the corner there. So I am just going to have another looky-see to see if I can find you, and if there's a way that, there we go. So I'm going to click. So I waved on Mandy Reid. Is there a way that I can find you, my dear? Because I have seen this done before. And you can't really have a Facebook Live run through, or else I would have been more prepared. So this is kind of, yeah, we're trying to get it on here. So I'm clicking. I wonder if there's any techie people that can give me a wee bit of advice, if possible. Pin the comment. Nope, that's not for me. What else do I have here? Oh, okay. More lighting. That wasn't what I was looking for, but sure, we'll take it anyway. Chat box. I'm trying to add you. So if there's anybody that's, you know, I don't actually know many people that do Facebook Lives. About what do you actually do? Let's see. So Mandy, if I click on Mandy, which I'm doing multiple times, techie people, I'm not sure what's going on here. Do you know what? I am going to try for another wee bit, but I have had a brainwave here. So if I cannot get this sorted, because I'm not going to waste all your, I'm sure you're sick of looking at my face, what I'm going to, me fiddling, what I'm going to do is, if I can't get this working to get Mandy on screen, oh, there's somebody help me out. Third party service, can I simply click share screen button that appears once you enter the live. Do you know what, Alistair? I am on my phone because I don't even own a laptop, because I'm not interested. So if there's any kind of advice that is on, you know, screen share, any advice how you do it on your phone, that would be awesome. So I'm going to share a wee bit of my experience, and if there's any more help or chat, you can pop it on. I'll see if I can do it. If not, my other good ideas, once I've shared, Mandy can run a Facebook Live. Mandy, you're hearing this right now. Mandy can run a Facebook Live, and we can just switch over to the Mind Menders, the Wellness Hub, and we can get Mandy's, not feedback, but we can get her side. Because I've written down some notes here, the facilitator and the partner. So she would be the facilitator and I would be the partner. So I am going to share my experience, and we'll see where we are in a wee minute. Okay, so I have been through, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, I've been through a lot of adverse childhood experience, a lot of trauma, a lot of neglect, a lot of different issues, addictions, low self-esteem, low worth, etc., etc. A little bit of background. My mum has a mental illness. She's severely bipolar. Dad left when I was young. There was alcohol issues in the house. All this. Okay. So, a lot of these things have hindered me throughout my entire life. And I got on a journey of self-improvement, self-discovery. I was always wondering why life was so hard, why I was such a victim, why my whole childhood was just nothing but trauma and loneliness and not having your needs met and neglect and all this. Got into a very abusive relationship when I was 15. Lots of years of numbing out, alcohol and other things, and no self-worth, no self-esteem, self-destructing, and all of that sort of stuff was going on. So, this is actually to your psychic medium page. What happened was I went to a medium and she gave me a psychic reading, which I didn't even know anything about. And she sort of said to me, you've got great potential if you want to do other things, if you want to be a psychic medium or if you want to do counselling. She gave me a whole lot of really amazing things. And that little bit of hope was sparked within me because I had such a negative view of myself, because I had to, thanks Mandy, I see that, I had to cut off all my needs when I was younger because they were not being met, and it was a survival mechanism, it was a coping mechanism. So anyway, went on a spiritual journey, personal development journey. I trained as a counsellor, and that I just knew it wasn't for me. Got the qualification, went, no, this isn't it. I also work with children in a nursery school. I love that job as well. I've got like multiple jobs. I just recently trained as a clinical hypnotherapist, and the stuff and the education about the mind and mindset and it was just life changing. Okay, so I've done a lot of work on myself over the years. The awareness, it peaked and started when I did my counselling course of, wow, instead of me numbing myself out and using coping mechanisms, maybe I can work on me and change myself. So I would meditate 1 hour every day, 4 years. I will not miss that, no matter if I'm sick, hungover, whatever, I don't care. It's happening. So the story goes on, and I did a lot of work on myself. A lot of, as Jung says, facing your shadow, working with your shadow self, your shadow aspect, the parts of yourself that you've denied or disowned all your life because there is a hurt, scared, basically little child inside that has never got that particular need met, and it fragments whenever you are a child. And clinical hypnotherapy allows you to go back and work with the fragments and reintegrate them so you become a whole more in your psyche and as a person, which is actually, I believe I'm working on a soul level as well. Obviously readings give people that bit of hope, that bit of spark, seeing the possibilities and potentials, like what was said to me, coming from such a negative view of myself in the world, that little bit of goodness or whatever was said to me was, you could be really successful, you could be a genius in your area, so nobody ever said anything like that to me. I have always been in low paid, low level jobs where I was a victim and I got intimidated and bullied, etc. all the way through school because I was of my appearance, because we were neglected really badly, and all kinds of abuse. And there was an ACEs score that I did, and you score, and where you score out of 10 means you're going to have basically a terrible life, and I scored 9 out of 10. Anything over 4 is really detrimental to your mental and physical health. Anyway, point I'm making is I've done a lot of years of work on myself, spiritual work, healing, spiritual healing, Reiki, everything, a lot of clinical hypnotherapy, etc. Now, there's a fantastic man called Bruce Lipton, and I'd seen some of his stuff about the mind, conscious mind, subconscious mind, superconscious, really fascinated. And he was talking about this process called PSYCH-K, and I was like, oh wow, he was a real advocate for it. And I was like, whoa, I'd love to look into that, or I'd love to hear more. And it was, you couldn't find any information, and YouTube, and everything was really for me it seemed like there was a secrecy around it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'd love to know more about this, but I can't find the information on the internet, so I just sort of left it. That was okay. Now, I have known Mandy from in the realm of, she's also a clinical hypnotherapist. She runs the Wellness Hub, Mind Menders Wellness Hub in Bloomfield Avenue. And her details, I'll pop them on this, links and whatever after. Or you might be watching this video on the Mind Menders after. And I've known Mandy because she helped us when we were training, we were students, and she was fantastic, brilliant help, couldn't be any more helpful and generous with her time, which I really appreciated. And she then told me she was training in a thing called PSYCH-K. And I was like, well, wow, because I'm very interested in PSYCH-K. And PSYCH-K is a process that Mandy will be able to explain all this better. But it basically works with your beliefs, negative self-beliefs, and if there's stuff that's holding you back in life. Like I wrote down some wee details, and there is, no matter what amount of work that I done on myself or what I did, I was always coming up against this brick wall, this last piece. It was like the last piece of the puzzle that, sort of didn't fit, because I know I'm very good at stuff that I do. I put in a lot of time, work, effort, energy, passion. I know I give high quality service, but there was just some things holding me back, and it was all to do with my childhood, my adverse childhood experiences, and my negative self-beliefs that I had about me. They were the things that were holding me back. So before I go into the process, Mandy's kindly sent me a wee message here. Do you know what? I'm going to read it after, because the last time I did this it cut out for a wee moment. So I'm just going to go with my experience of PSYCH-K, and then hopefully I can get Mandy in here and she can share her wisdom. Okay, so I said, Mandy, there's just a wee something underlying there. No matter what I've done, what I've tried, and all this work and self-work that I've done, there's just something still there. And so anyway, I booked in with Mandy, and for me it was a very spiritual process. There is different ways that it can be worded sort of to suit people, because I said to Mandy, I would love everybody, no matter what their belief system is, to get a benefit from this, and apparently that is possible. So I was very happy to hear that. We went, me and Mandy chatted, and we had some chats about, I'm actually gonna, this is what we worked on. I wrote it down. I had negative self-beliefs or core wounds around my needs being met, about abundance, about not receiving. Even if I ever got presents for birthday, Christmas, I would just give them away because whatever, they weren't important to me, but there was a deeper layer to why that was because when I was a child and I used to cut off my needs, then this program was still running, so I would do a lot of charity work, run stuff for free, work at places for free, because I had no value in myself. And there is a lot of, the majority of people I know and speak to have low self-esteem, low self-worth, all of these things, and they're like the core of who you are, and they really impact your life. So one of the things that I worked on, one of the self-beliefs was, and you change that to a positive. So then mine was, I am grateful to receive. Okay, now Mandy will discuss about whatever balances and processes. I'm sorry, I don't know the terminology, but what I will say is, in a very, very short space of time, and I mean minutes, this particular pose or poses that I was on, the only way I can describe it was, I would be, I can be quite, I'm a strong person, I'm stoic, I will not cry in public, and this was instant. I'm saying I'm grateful to receive, and I have to hold a certain pose that Mandy will discuss, and it really upset me, because when I was saying it, my internal belief was that was not true. What I was saying was not true. I'm grateful to receive, because I knew that wasn't true, and it, the emotion that came up, and you have to just repeat it. I was repeating this positive affirmation, and this swell of emotion, I was there, I was crying my eyes out, with this deep sadness and upheaval, and I could feel it working its way throughout my body. And then, so strange, it switched to absolute ecstasy, jubilation, joy, happiness, gratefulness. And I held this pose for maybe 3.5 minutes. And I have changed a negative self-belief about myself to a positive one. So that one blew my mind. And I'll just go through them. You know, I trust my best is good enough. I prioritize my needs for the greater good of all, because I will prioritize everybody's needs, friends, family, everyone, bar myself. And it was really, really causing me burnout. I believe others' judgment of me is a reflection of them. So I had a thing where if somebody was giving me negative feedback, or if they were making a comment about me, which it happens in the spiritual community, and you know, whatever, it does happen, and that people will say it to your face, or they will whisper it and you'll hear it. Okay, so I was able to change that one, because that would hit me down at my inner child that was crying out for love and attention that I never got when I was a child. That used to hit me there, the emotion there, when people would do or say things like that. It would get right in. And though I did some, you know, clinical hypnotherapy, and that did work on elements of that, but there's still traces of that there, even though you would actually be annoyed with yourself for letting people annoy you, but it was just because it was a body reaction. And to get that one changed, so if somebody makes a comment, or if somebody has a negative view of me, or if they make a comment, I'm able to look at that person with non-judgment and just think, well, that's you. That is your problem, your issue, and that's yours and it's not mine. And that liberty and that freedom, amazing. And the next one, I am good enough and I believe in my divine value. So I'm going to let Mandy discuss, but basically it was the same process. So we worked through these, and each time I got the real sadness, the upset, the crying, which is not like me at all. It's not. And then for it to change so quickly, and for me to be, I'll be honest, it was a very spiritual experience. I felt my higher self and elements of the divine in that room with me. You know, Mandy will go on and she will share. It's called, I think if I get this right, a sumatak. And that is a sacred space with the teal energy. Now, from then on, now this was, because I wrote down the date, 19th of the 2nd. This was in February. 19th of the 2nd, February. If I have any psychic or mediumship friends on here, you will know that no matter how hard you try, there is always a comparison you will have with other people, because we are only human, right? And it was funny because I was part of, you know, hearing people's inspirational stories of this other group that I'm part of. And a guy called Ken Faulkner said, he was talking about confidence, and he said, and I know that this is banded around, it is somewhere, it's from somewhere, but he shared, confidence is not going into your room thinking you're better than other people. Confidence is going into a room and not comparing yourself with others. And do you see that? If that was a theory, it is now my experience of life. Because no matter how hard you try, even you would say I went and did a dem, or say I did a reading, well, I'll give a dem as an example. If I went and did a dem, and if I'm working with other people, you're automatically judging yourself off the crowd, of how you were the previous time, and against other people. You can't help it. It's a fact. Now, and that comes from, maybe not for everybody, maybe for people who have been through childhood adverse experience, you know, adverse childhood experience. But for me, it was a reality. And what this process did was change that for me. And I got the real experience of it, you know, recently when I worked at the Belfast Spiritualist Church. There was no comparison, there was no judgment, there was no anything. There was, I am good enough, I'm going to do the best that I can do, and that's all I can do, and that is good enough. So I got up there, and it wasn't about me being overconfident or not, it was just about me doing what I did, I knowing it was okay, and I was doing it for the right reasons, and for, for the divine. And see how unshackled and how unchained I felt by that. And just about other things to do with readings. For me, I'm a perfectionist. I want to be the best that I can be. It's not a bad thing. But I will beat myself up if I am not constantly progressing. And it's about accepting yourself as you are, where you are, and just changing your whole sets, your belief system. So Mandy was warm, she was caring, she is so knowledgeable, and this process really, now I know I get on these lives all the time and say this really changed my life, but I want better for people. Like, I really want, see if there's something that has been a benefit to my life, I want that for you. I want that for somebody else. This is not about me or us selling anybody anything. My quality of life has been so much greatly improved by the work that Mandy did. I asked her for this interview because I asked Mandy why there is such secrecy around the PSYCH-K, and she explained it beautifully, and I will give her chance now. Really soon I'm going to sort this out to explain. But I want this knowledge and experience and this help and this benefit for other people. So, we're going to sort out details. If you want to contact Mandy, you can, and all that. But I'm going to stop rambling now, and I'm going to see, because Mandy, this might cut off, I have to be honest, because I have to read what Mandy has sent me. So just give me a moment, please. Let's see. Simply select a guest from the live viewers. So, no matter how many times I'm tapping on you, Mandy, it loves to mess me about. There's my wee friend Anne, giving you a wee wave. Thank you for everybody else. Alistair, Nazir, Michelle Spindlow, my beautiful friend, Jeanette, Stephen. I'm going to still try and poke around here and see if I can invite Mandy, because I am a technophobe and I don't know how to work this. Let's see. So it's saying, so maybe, right, so I've pinned the comment, and now will it let me, and it won't unpin this comment. So do you know what, guys? I've actually seen, people before having these kinds of issues with it. So the only thing I can suggest is, please, let's go. Do you know what, Mandy, I think is on a desktop, or hopefully, I'm not sure. She has something there that we can just, if you don't mind, we'll all now go over to Mind Menders, the Wellness Hub, and join Mandy there so she can give the other half of this story, because it's just phenomenal. It's beautiful, and quality of life is greatly improved. So, and I know that she has some gems and nuggets there for mental health and for how to get through and deal with this fear that so many people are feeling, okay? So I'm just going to finish up here. Please jump on to Mind Menders. I'll pop a wee link to her page on, and I'll hopefully see you there. Okay, bye.